Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to be using some product from the Greetery. This is a company that I've not used before. I actually saw a video with Laura Basson and I had to have this. So I was inspired by her to get it. So basically what I've got is have a spine die collection from the Greetery. And this enables you to create a book with this. And it's lovely. And then I have got the Christmas Story stamp set. And this is fantastic. It's Luke 2. It has the Christmas Story. It's got some title and some embellishments and different stuff that you can use. And they sent it in this pretty little bag. So we're going to work with this today. And I will tell you, I had I think this is the third video that I made with this. It just had a comedy of errors that were occurring. So these are the three dies. I've got them cut apart. I'm going to die cut the pages part out of the gold. And then I'm going to actually make my card base. I'll cut the spine out of this brown that I have here. And then I'm going to make my card base with some Dune cardstock from Spellbinders. I've got a panel here that I'm just going to score at 4 1/4, and then we'll have a side folding A2 size card, and we'll just get it scored and folded over, and then we'll get to die cutting. So we'll get the scoreboard out of the way. And then this particular die here is the one that you're going to lay against your card base. And so you want to line it up at the very top of your card base. And I could have gone up a little bit further. I think Laura had the same problem with hers when she die cut it out. I'm going to use some tape to kind of hold it in place. It would be better if you had a magnetic plate to hold it in place, because I did get a slight impression from my tape, because I made several passes, because this is going through 2 layers of Spellbinders heavy cardstock. And I'm trying to line it up to where the cutting part will not cut through my card base here. And the instructions don't necessarily have you cutting through the card base. It says the panel, but I couldn't make the back of the card base match it unless I cut through it. So I went ahead and just created the card base, and I just cut through it like this. And so I'm going to bring in my Spellbinder 6 so you can just see me cutting through this. And I will zoom out a little bit because I'm in kind of tight. So I might bump the camera a little bit, might get a little shaky. Anyway, and we'll just do our die cutting on these pieces here. That wasn't too bad. And I'm going to do multiple presses on there. I've got the shim in there, but that cardstock is heavy. And so I'm going to go, I think I do 4 passes on it just to make sure I get it good and cut. And I still will have to snip. There is an area on the one that I'm going to die cut out of brown that on the instructions tells you that you have to snip it. But I wind up having to do some snipping on this as well. And I think Laura did too in her video. So we've got that piece, and you can see my tape's kind of holding it on there, and I'm making sure that it cut out. And I'm going to really carefully remove that washi tape so that I don't tear my paper. But I did notice an impression from that tape on there. So that's why I would suggest a magnetic mat. And I've got to get the scrapbook.com magnetic mat. I haven't got it yet, and I desperately need it. So I'm going to have to get that ordered. I might put that on, I don't know, I might put that on a Christmas list. I don't know if I can wait that long. But anyway, now I'm going to take this Spellbinders Holiday Gold. This was in the holiday pack. It's not the metallic gold that you would normally buy from the Essential cardstock. This was something that came in the holiday colors pack. So it's a little bit different than the regular metallic. But I had a piece of it, and I thought I would use it. So I'm just going to run it through the die cutting machine. I'll do a couple passes on it as well, and just get it die cut out. And I probably should have went a couple more passes because I do struggle a little bit with getting it out of there. And I'm just wiggling it. I find sometimes with this foiled paper, if you wiggle it a little bit, you can get it to pop out. So it'll take me a minute to do that. And then I just decide, grab those scissors and just snip it. And so we'll snip it apart, and I think I can wiggle it out. We are getting some really heavy wind today. I'm sitting here in the living room watching the wind blow the neighbor's, oh gosh, what kind of a tree is that? I'm not sure, but it is just bending it like a palm tree because the winds are just really heavy and they're really just pressing. So now I'm going to do the decorative spine in this brown. And this particular cardstock here is actually Pink and Main. I had it, and I thought I'd just grab it real quick and die cut it out. It'll look nice with the dune. And it's a flowering pear tree is what that is. And I'm just going to have my decorative spine piece. And this is the piece that on the instructions tells you that there is an area to snip. And I'm actually going to do a little bit more snipping because I don't think I ran it clear to the edge. So I'm just going to bring in my Cricut knife, just run it along that little cut line and pull it out. And then I'm also going to use it to snip that part that the instructions say you need to snip. So I just snip that off with my tool there. Now I've got all my pieces ready so that I can start building my card. I was pointing to the instructions where it shows you to snip that off. And so we'll get the plates out of the way. And this is kind of how it goes together. This is the gold is like your fancy page edges. A lot of times your Bible has a gilded edge around your papers. And then this is where I'm going to just snip off the top where I didn't quite get the die lined up exactly right. And then I'm also going to snip off the side as well. And there we go. So now we're ready to build our book. And so that'll slide right in there. That's why you had to notch that little piece out. And then just lay that piece there down below it, and that'll show your pages. So we're going to go ahead and just get it all assembled up. And in the middle of this, my husband called me 3 times. So I had to keep stopping and answer him. He's at the grocery store, and he was calling me about items to purchase. And we made the list before he left, but he just kept asking questions. So I don't care because I hate to do the grocery shopping. So back to the card. I'm going to get this laid down on here with some glue. And then we'll bring in our book part and we'll get it tucked in there. I'll need to lay some glue. You need to glue the gold up at the top there and then on the side. And I just glued the side and then I realized I forgot to glue the gold, so I'll have to go back and do it. But I'm just kind of making sure that I get that in there and get it lined up right. I'm going to lay some glue down there on my spine. And this is where I should have put glue on the gold base as well, but I didn't. And then I tuck it in and I realize once I'm trying to line it up and it moves on me that I need to get some glue on that gold area. So I will bring that in. And I'm trying to get it lined up with the tip of that brown. And I thought, well, I could use my T-square to kind of get it lined up to where it's lined up with the tip of the brown portion of the book on the bottom down there. Just trying to get it good and lined up. And I'm thinking I got it all together. Then I move it and I realize that I didn't put any glue on the gold. So this, like I said, I had a calamity of errors while making this. I made several other attempts at videos and made cards, which I'll bring them in and show them to you. But just one thing after another kept happening. So that is kind of what happens when you're videoing. Sometimes technology and things go awry. So anyway, I'm just going to get this, make sure it's lined up correctly. And now we've got a book card, and it looks lovely. I think you could use this for just all kinds of things. Obviously, I'm going to use this for a Christmas card, but you could do lots of different scenes on the front of this and you know, just let your imagination run wild. So it's a great set to have. Now, I've already got the Christmas story and the embellishment in my MISTI because I've made a bunch of other cards. Some of them I embossed. Some of them I used lunar paste for the gold. Just a lot of different things that I did in the process of making 3 videos. So I'm going to bring in this VersaFine Clair and Nocturne And it's just a good solid black, and I'm just going to stamp down the Christmas story with the little embellishment on there. And keep this one simple. After embossing several other ones and doing all the different things, I decided I was going to just keep this one simple and just use some ink instead of doing all the embossing and everything. So I think it looks lovely. It's stamped beautifully, and now I'm ready to put the inside sentiment in there, or the Christmas story inside there. So we'll just turn my MISTI. I'm going to lay it down inside there. Try to get it to stick to that waffle flower sticky mat. It needs cleaned. I should take it out and clean it. And I'll use my magnet. I'm getting another phone call, so I'm going to have to pause. So I'm back, and I'm going to lay the Christmas story stamp down onto, just directly onto my card base. On the other ones, I added a layer and stamped it on white, but for this one, I just decided I would stamp it straight on the card base. So I'll just pull it off, get it lined up on there. And the wind is continuing to howl. Goodness, it's really getting with it. I know there were some storms that came in before this, and I think we're just getting kind of the remnants from the other areas that had the storms. I think Oklahoma had some pretty bad storms yesterday. I think we're starting to get some of the winds and stuff from it. We haven't seen any much rain. I think maybe we got a dibby dab, but not much. Anyway, so I'm going to press the Christmas story down. This is Luke 2, and I'll give it several presses and get it inked up really nice. And then we'll bring in the stamp that has the Luke 2 on there, and we'll bring in some embellishments, and we will get that laid down on there. So you can see it inked very nice. Now I'm just double checking and seeing if there's any areas that I might need to repress, but we'll just clean this off. And get it put away, and then we'll bring in our embellishments and put them on there. When I saw this set, when Laura did this, I knew I had to have it just because it had the Christmas story on there, and I knew that I would want to make some Christmas cards with this. So I'm thrilled to have this. And I think I could probably use the story inside many other cards. Not necessarily would have to be a book card. It could be any card that I make for Christmas and then put the story on the inside. I think that would be really a great way to do your Christmas cards. So I'm getting the ornate, this is the tiny Luke 2 King James Version, KJV is what it says on there. And I'm going to pick it up. It rolled when I went to pick up my door, so I'm going to set it again, try and get it lined up. These are hard because they're so little and they want to stick to your fingers. So sometimes you have to use an eraser to get them laid down like you want them. So I'm trying to straighten it up here as best I can while it is sticking to my fingers. I'll pick it up with the MISTI door. We'll give it a quick stamping, and then we'll bring in some teeny tiny little scrolly stamp pieces that we'll put on either side of this. And there's also a scripty line that you could put below it if you want. I used it on the other cards, but I thought I'd try something different with this one. So I'm just going to clean that up, and then we'll get this put away and bring in those two little tiny stamps that we're going to use to put on either side of the Luke 2. So I'm going to bring in those two little stamps. Now they're the same, but you have two of them. So I'm going to try and get them laid down on here, and I think this is where I'll have to grab an eraser because I just can't get these laid down without them sticking to my finger, and you can't use the end of the pen. You've got to use, or pencil, you've got to use the eraser part to be able to move them around. And so I'll get the other one laid down on there, and then we'll pick these up with a door. And I've got to just try and get them positioned as best I can. These are teeny tiny. And I'm going to move that magnet just to kind of help it to stay in place a little bit better. Still trying to get them lined up. And then we'll get these stamped down on here. And I had some black ink on there, but fortunately, when I laid that down, I thought, oh my gosh, I hope it doesn't get on my card, but it didn't. So I was happy about that. We'll just lay that aside, and we're going to fold our card, and this will finish up this card. And I'm going to bring in the other ones and show you that so you've got this nice little book card here. And then I made a red one with the gold embossed with a black spine. I did indigo, and I did the gold. And then this red and green one, I had heat embossed and smeared it. So I put the black over it. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Take care and have a great day. See you, everyone. Bye-bye.